Hi, we're going to look at 1.1d, decimal degrees and degrees, minutes, and seconds. If you recall when we talked about converting degrees to radians or radians to degrees, it's going to be the same situation here. Convert degrees to radians. This is what we did yesterday in 1.1c. So how would we take 171 degrees and convert that to radians? You want to get rid of degrees, so the degrees conversion is going to go on the bottom, 180 degrees with pi on top. If I have degrees on top and degrees on the bottom, we have 171 times pi over 180. Again, remember you always want to reduce, so when we reduce this, we get 19 pi over 20. Now remember, radians is in terms of pi, or it's in terms of radians as a decimal, so you could also take 19 times pi, then divide it by 20, and get 2.98 pi radians. Again, this does not have a degree symbol, so this is the same. Both of these are in radians. It's just in terms of pi or the decimal. So, on your own, stop and pause the video and convert negative 0.831 degrees into radians. Again, our conversion is going to be the same. We're trying to get rid of degrees. So if I have degrees on top and degrees on the bottom, they cancel. And this leaves me with negative 0.831 pi over 180. Now that seems really strange, doesn't it? So this would make sense to multiply negative 0.831 times pi, then divide it by 180, and this would leave us with negative 0.015 radians. So it sometimes makes more sense to have the decimal radians. Okay? Alright, let's convert a few from radians to degrees. This time, remember our conversion factor, we want to get rid of pi. So if I have 7 pi over 11 and I want to find the degrees, I'm going to get rid of the pi symbol. So pi has to go on the bottom and 180 degrees on top. So if I have a pi on the top and a pi on the bottom, they cancel. 7 times 180, and then divide that by 11. And when you do that, you end up with 114.545 degrees. Okay? Now, what's going to look different today is we're going to have some decimals. We're going to have some other symbols in our degrees. If you remember from the homework a few days ago, there were some funny symbols after the degrees. These are what we call degrees, minutes, and seconds. Okay? This is kind of like me saying, please show up at my house around 3 o'clock, or please show up at my house at 2:55 and 15 seconds. It's being super, super specific. So 1 degree equals 60 minutes. And the symbol for minutes is this mark right here. 1 minute equals 60 seconds. And the symbol for seconds looks like 2 lines up here. So 1 degree equals how many seconds? 3,600 seconds. So it's kind of a lot like time, isn't it? With hours, minutes, and seconds, except for instead of hours, it's the actual degree. Now, it can work the other way around. 1 minute is equal to how much of a degree then? 1/60th of a degree. So 1 second is equal to how much of a degree? 1/3600th of a degree. So those are important conversions to make sure you understand. All right, so let's convert decimal degrees. So these are some of those funny symbols that we saw back in the homework the other day. The easy part about this is your degree is always going to be the whole number in front of the decimal. But we have to figure out how to convert 25 minutes and 15 seconds now into a decimal. So in order to do that, think about it as a fraction. 25 is how much out of the degree? It's a 60th. And 15 is how much out of the seconds of a degree? It's 3,600. So once I turn these into fractions, I can find the decimal. 25 divided by 60, which gives me 0.416, repeating, and 15 divided by 3,600, which is 0.0046, repeating. For our class sake, let's go and make sure we get out at least 3 decimals when we add them together. So this is the now decimal degrees that I will finish putting in here. (18.4208 degrees is exactly the same as 18 degrees, 25 minutes, and 15 seconds. So on your own, see if you can convert negative 102 degrees, 2 minutes, and 3 seconds. Okay, so the easy part of this is knowing that this is the same as negative 102. Okay, that's our whole number. We're going to take 2 minutes, which is 2 out of 60 degrees, 3 seconds, which is 3 out of 3,600 degrees. Find their equivalent decimals. Again, we're going 4 decimal places, combining them. Once I have my decimal, I am going to add that to the rest of my answer, and that is the answer for decimal degrees. Again, it's getting more specific, just like me saying something costs $102.03 is more specific than just $102. Now, we can go the other direction. We can convert from decimals to degrees, minutes, and seconds. So it's actually going to do what we just did, but go backwards. Okay? So if you think about up here, we divided by 60. Guess what we're going to do going the other direction? We're going to multiply by 60. Okay? So again, my whole number is my degrees. That's the easy part. Now I'm going to take my decimal, which is 0.5, and I'm going to multiply that by 60 instead of dividing by 60, which is 30. So this is 17 degrees and 30 minutes. There are no seconds because I'm actually done. This gave me a whole number. Okay, let's try one a little bit more difficult. We're going to convert 21.56 degrees. Again, the easy part is the degrees. 21 degrees. Okay? Now we're going to take our decimal and we're going to multiply it by 60. And when I do that, I get 33.6. You are now going to take this whole number, and that is your minutes. So this is now 33 minutes. Because there is a decimal this time, we're going to keep going and help us find our seconds. We're going to take 0.6 times, and guess what? It's not 3600 this time, because we're already using 60. So 60 times another 60, because we've already multiplied it by 60 once, and 60 again gives us our 3600. So now we're going to take 0.6 times 60, and we end up with 36. This now is our seconds. It's a little bit confusing because of the extra multiplication in here, why we don't use 3600, but try your best. So on your own, convert negative 404.13 degrees into degrees, minutes, and seconds. Okay, again, the easy part is the actual degrees. We are done. Now I'm going to take my decimal and I'm going to multiply that by 60. And when I take 0.13 times 60, I get 7.8. I'm going to take the whole number, and that is my minutes. Because I have a decimal, I'm going to keep going one more time, and I'm going to multiply 0.8 now by 60. And when I take 0.8 and multiply it by 60, I get 48. That now is my seconds. Let's pretend I would have gotten like 48.75. Then I would have written this whole thing as seconds, 48.75 seconds. We stop after seconds. Okay? So that's it for today's lesson. Good luck on the homework. Again, remember to circle any questions you have on homework assignments so that I'm able to help you when I see you in person or on Google Meet.